A very warm good morning to dear students, faculty members, and all the respected dignitaries. Today is the fourth day of the orientation and induction program of our 11th PGDM batch. There is a well said quote: the expert in anything was once a beginner. Let us start our journey of becoming an expert by learning some new things today. Our first speaker of the day is Mr. R.N. Pandey, Business Head of Gopalji Dairy Foods Private Limited. Mr. Pandey is Business Head of Ananda Dairy Group. He is currently heading the sales operations for Pan India at Ananda Dairy Food and a leading market player in dairy and food segment. He has a vast experience of more than 2 decades in the dairy industry. He had a remarkable association with Mother Dairy, where he successfully launched the Mother Dairy ice cream and made it a market leader in the NCR. He has 7 years of experience with Reliance Retail as North India head in dairy category. He has also done advanced marketing course from Cranfield University, London. Sir would be delivering a session on leadership quality in future managers. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Okay, good morning, friends. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, I think everybody else must be in the mute. So I think it will be on the solo. It is not a normal classroom things. So the topic that we'll be covering is leadership quality in future managers. See, I have been taking classes as a guest lecturer for a number of business schools, and there are something which are lacking in the students. We are even hiring a number of MBA students. I have currently one of our brand manager from IM, two Irmans are there, and there are from local resource as well. But there are something which is really needed for the future managers. We are not really looking the only managers, we are looking the leaders. So I'll show some slides. These are only just helping so that we remain focused on the topic. Otherwise, I'll share some of my experiences, how one should be. So Steve Jobs, who is Apple's owner, he says it does not make sense to hire a smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. See, this is exactly once, suppose we have hired one IIM graduate and appointed him, say, on a 20 lakh package for as a brand manager. Then what we are looking, whatever you have studied in 2 years curriculum, you will implement here. And you will not ask, you will of course take a overall guidelines for budgets, and then how organization, ethics, values, those things you learn in introductory offer for say a month or so. Later on, you have to tell to the organization. That is how the people are looking. Sometimes what happens, even young MBAs are coming, and suppose as head of the department, I brief him in the morning. In daytime also, they will do at least 3-4 phone calls. Sir, I have reached this, I am talking to this, what should I say now? Okay. So you should have all briefs well in advance, and you should use your brain. My feeling is anybody available at this spot, whatever decision he is taking, he can take the best decision, because you are only telling to the other person that these are the situations. He cannot empathize all the situations. So the best boss I ever had, that is the phrase most of us have said or heard at some point. But what does it mean? What sets the great boss apart from the average boss? There is one quality that sets truly great managers apart from the rest. They discover what is unique about each person and then capitalize on them. Harvard Business School, there is a study which says that it is the leader who has to identify. See, in our team, there are people of the same post. Okay, but some people are good in writing, There are few people good in singing. So they do all the entertainment. Sometimes we have a get together, then we'll ask, please have a good song with him. And there are people, they are introvert, but they are good at their own work. So you have to allot the jobs, office job, where he need not to talk to many people. But what is the job given to him, he can definitely do the best. So it is the leader's quality that he should identify within the team. I am currently handling almost 296 sales team pan India basis. There are 7 general managers and two assistant vice presidents. So what we need, it is not that only those you need to talk to only general managers. There are people within the team, until you inculcate the habit of taking the feedback from the people, they will not grow, and they will only remain uh, knowledge, they will only have knowledge of their own field. So that is how we have got a business review meeting on the monthly basis. So people coming from production, people coming from HR, finance, sales. So all those head of the departments, they know what is happening in the field. There are in 5 lakh villages, you are doing, suppose we are doing only sales. It does not mean that we don't know how the procurement is taking place. Okay. So those quality, because sometimes suppose that interdepartmental transfers are also there. So if you know the how things are happening in other department, you can definitely, at least for a week's time, for 1 month's time, you can manage the show over there. Future managers, what is the first quality that is being looked after is decisiveness. So there is nothing more frustrating than trying to follow instructions from someone who is wavering about what to do next. You should not only have the confidence about how you should proceed, but you should be able to how much you need to be able to trust your manager. We have so much data in the digital age, but that does not mean over analyzing every little decision. That often leads to paralysis and lack of innovation. I tell you one example. See, long back, I was working with Mother Dairy, and I was head of department for their quality assurance. When I started the career, their milk were used to come from all the cooperatives from Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and all those federations. And each tanker was close to around 5 lakh. So sometimes what happens, uh, once you start the career, you have to come within in the shifts. So what happens in the night shift, if you are there, certain point in time you have to reject those tankers, and you as a you are a newcomer, you have just joined the job, so you are not able to take the decision. I recall one incident, night at 2 a.m. I called our quality assurance manager PN Reddy. He is now retired. He just take hardly 30 seconds saying yes or no. He will never say, okay, you take care, do another analysis, and then, because next day morning he organization has to deal with the MDs of those federations. They have to reply why I have rejected my tanker, though there is a huge loss to the cooperative and it is farmers money. So he was so famous for decisiveness. He will take decisions in very short time. Sometimes you will find the bosses and leaders, they, you tell your problem, they will tell, okay, you take your call. And suppose you take certain decisions, they will tell, you should have taken this decision instead of that decision. Why the hell, when I asked you, you could have given that, you take this decision. So decisiveness is very, very important in leadership role, because wherever you are, you could be general manager in the plant, it could be a procurement, you could be in sales, marketing. So down the line team is looking for you, and they will only follow you. Yeah. Uh, Anybody say something?
So you can continue. I think there was some disturbance.
Okay, okay. I thought somebody want to say something, so that is how. If anybody has to say something, there is a signal where they can raise hand and can talk. Okay. So after decisiveness, another quality is supportive. If your manager won't go to bat for you, don't walk away. Don't walk away and run. Your manager should stand up for you and your work to other departmental heads and executives. If your work is not worthy of their support, then they should give you feedback and guidance before it becomes a greater issue. What you don't want is a manager who will throw you under the bus when they come under fire. So that is where the leadership matters. And you know why people follow somebody? Because you stand with them in crisis. I'll tell you one example. See, it was almost 10 years back when I was head of the department for Mother Day ice cream for Delhi NCR. So we had put up a stall at India Gate. There was some function, and we had put up a stall at Rajpath. And there was a huge rain, some 23 deep freezers and lot of ice cream. There were other stalls also. So since there was a rain and it was third party, it was given. The party says they will not make the payment and even not allowed to lift the freezers also. They wanted some money on that. So my in charge who was there, it was Sunday because mostly at Rajpath, India Gate, only Sunday functions take place whenever it takes place. So what happened? My in charge over there, Mr. Bhati, who called me, he told, sir, there's a lot of problem over here and how to do. I asked him, just wait, I'll come. I pick up my car and went straightway. It was 11 in the night. Talked to all the organizers because entire thing was at chaos because there was huge rain. So all the stalls and all they were destroyed. So we managed the situation, talked to organizers. I had some 7-member team who were working there. There were other people. So what they were, see, even after so many years, I recall that incident. Even my team also, they recall that it was Sunday at 11. Sir did not say that, okay, you manage, I'll see on Monday morning when office opens, I will take care on this. He came himself. So you have to be on the front and you should lead from the front, then only others will follow. After that incident, people were always behind, sir, whatever sir will say, I will definitely do it. So you should be supportive to your team. And if you are supportive, you are a good team leader, you are a good head of the department, all your people will follow you. That is how you see in army or other thing, a leader, whenever he says you just jump, they will not say whether you will die or he will be left over, he will be alive, he will simply jump. So that is the quality of a leader. Inspiring. This is another good quality which we are looking from a future managers as a leader. We all have career aspirations and you should find a manager who will not only support your dreams but motivate you to achieve them. It is likely in their job description to encourage you to push yourself past your current roles, tasks and responsibilities, but having someone in your corner certainly will help you accomplish your goals. Even if your manager is inspiring, consider securing a mentor who can be additional support for your professional ambitions. So what happens in organizations also, there are leaders, there are bosses, and there are mentors. In college also, while you are in the college, you will find there are mentors in the faculty for a group of students, for say 5-10 students allotted to a mentor. So you can he can coach you, he can guide you. So it is more than a leader. A mentor is more than a leader. A very good leader becomes a mentor. So mentoring is also an skill which one should be able to learn. And you just think within the class, say there are say 45, 46 students, and you pass out after 2 years. The teachers and faculty remember the names of few, say 3, 4, 5 people. Their names are always on the top. Why? They have also given same fees, same class, and same batches, same teacher is doing. But why 2, 3, 4 people, their names are always remember top of the mind to the faculty and to teachers. And there are few people who, if they will tell after say 2, 3 years, they have to tell that I was part of the Lyre school batch number so and so. Then only faculty will recall, okay, you were that. So you have to see what extraordinary that you are doing, wherever, whichever field you are. Are you a student? You are in part of a game, or something extraordinary which people will be able to remember. Then comes the empathy. Part of emotional intelligence is having empathy for others. Empathy goes beyond understanding or even sympathy. I hope empathy everybody knows, putting in others' shoes. So to being able to put yourself in someone else's situation and experience what they are feeling. While it may not be a requirement that your manager cares about you on a personal level, it will contribute to your well-being, motivation, and satisfaction at work. I'll tell you example of empathy, how people will feel. See, we are a private organization where MD and all, since people are working right from 22nd of March, office is closed, so everybody is working from home. There are field people, they are going in the field, and there is a Zoom meeting every day. There is a review from say 10 to 12, turn by turn. So the MDs and owners, how do they feel? And as the head of the department, how I feel, I'll tell the example on this. Every day there is a review, and if you are handling crores of business and people are looking that every day, why can't we review? So there was 15th August Saturday and there is Sunday. So I gave Saturday, of course 15th August is holiday. Next day is Sunday. But MD requested that can't we have just half an hour, a small review on this. I said no. I sent a message on that because I know we have to empathize to the people. They are working in this COVID situation in the field. If there is a leave for 2 days, had it been office working, these 2 days would have been a leave. But it does not mean that people, all those head of the department, they are at home. So they are home does not mean that they will be working 24 hours every day. So those leaves will be there. So we should have empathy to the people who are in the field. Not you should only not think about the MD's point of view. Then fairness. This is self-explanatory. You don't want to be treated unfairly at work. Your manager should not show a preference for co-workers or have performance expectations that were never clearly defined and explained. While equality is a basic attribute and should be an expectation, it can be especially difficult to keep in check when managing a large team. If it is a question of discrimination, be sure you report it immediately. See what happened if you are handling a large team. Obviously, you may have liking or disliking to one person. Okay, but you, from co-workers' point of view, you should have clear expectations. What he's supposed to do at the time of joining itself. There the JDs are given, job descriptions, and then what is expected from him, how he should behave. But even then, all HODs are human beings. there are people uh, in our colloquial we call, some people are very chamcha, they do chamchagiri and all. So some people have got soft corner to that person. But if you are head of the family, you should behave in all fairness. So that co-workers should not feel you favor to somebody. Even if you fair to somebody, there should be a fairness, and you should be explaining to the guy why you have taken slightly soft corner to that person. Unless until you explain him, he will have a bad feeling about you. He may not tell you, but it will remain in his mind, and whenever his turn will come, he will take a revenge. Adaptability. The business landscape is continually evolving, especially in this technologically driven world. And companies are seeing a value of being agile in their operations. Your manager should be adaptable to the market's changes too. Someone who gets stressed out when priorities shift will project their onto their team. You don't need that. See, adaptability means what? See, everybody was working, going to the office. I I have got teams. They are not that technology driven. They hardly because they are working the finance from 10 years, 12 years. So they are not computer savvy. So if the situation has changed, you are not meeting him personally. You have to train them. And see, in the business front, how the things were happening, we had some 13 branches, and all the distributors, they used to come those branches after selling milk, they deposit cash over there, and then they go home. Now, in the COVID time, since people are not coming over there, what to do? So we have developed a software we call ADM, Ananda Distribution Management System, where distributor will remain at his home. He will only put all the demand in the software, and it will go to central server. So all those 13 offices are closed. So there is saving to the organization. People have become savvy. They can't believe, they can't realize, working from last say 20 years, coming to that office, depositing cash, and suddenly that cash is abolished. You go and deposit in your ATM machine, cash deposit machine there, and do the NEFT and all that. So need not to come over there, because due to COVID, even banks were not initially, if you see the April situation, they were also reluctant to take the cash. They say you go and deposit in the ATM machine. So in the changing situation, your employees, your distributors, your team members, they should be very much adaptable. If situation changes, they should adopt that. Honesty. So honesty is really very, very important in leadership, for any leadership quality. You want a manager who will be truthful about any news, big or small. Honest feedback is of utmost importance, so you can continue to learn and grow. Sugarcoating a performance review does not do any good for anyone. So what happens normally, don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions, so it is clear you are keen on knowing the truth. Whenever we are doing a lot of interviews right now, even today also there's interview for three sales team officer level at 1:30. So after doing the interview, we ask the person, do you have any question to ask? Because you must have heard about the organization, about the team, about the so many things, values about the organization. So do you have any question to ask? Some people say, no, sir, because they simply somehow interview is over, let us go. And there are few people, they will sit down for 5 minutes, they will clarify all their doubts. They will clarify all their doubts. What about TADA, when salaries will come, performance management system, what is the increment, annual increment, all these things they will ask. So I don't mind if anybody is asking, I am happy to reply. In fact, I will give him a better mark and better grade, because he is inquisitive and asking the things. Only dumb people, only one-sided listen and gone, that is really not required. So don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. So it is clear you are keen on knowing the truth, and build a trustworthy relationship by keeping your word when it is appropriate. So honesty is a two-way street. If you are honest, you expect others also to be honest. Self-awareness. You should want your manager to be self-aware, because this is the only guarantee you have for them making improvements to their management style. So whenever I take an interview, I don't ask them what are the good quality in you, what are the what are the deficiency in you, because some people say, no sir, I am good, I am very honest, hardworking and all. And if you don't know that this is my lacuna, this I am lacking this is my deficiency, you cannot improve that. So knowing your deficiency is very, very important. And it is the only your boss, your supervisor, your senior, they can, from your point of view, you are the best. You come in the office at the right time, do your hard work, talk to the people, very polite. But it is, if you ask your boss, your immediate supervisor, only he can give you the real feedback. A good manager will know their weaknesses, admit them, and work toward improving them. It is hard to relate to someone who can't take an objective look at themselves. It, it may make you feel guarded, which will erode your hopefully open relationship. So self-awareness is very, very important. So within the college, within the class, in your home, you must know what is my lacuna, where I am lacking. So you should be able to improve that. Humble. Someone who has clocked time doing your job and risen through the ranks will inherently be more empathetic to any professional challenge you may face. When your manager exhibits humble behavior, it contributes to a feeling of being it together. Humility is one of the more elusive attributes in a manager. It is fine balance in leadership, because humility can often be perceived as indecisiveness, submissiveness, or passiveness. It takes confidence and courage for a manager to act humbly. See, normally what happens? Uh, Sometimes people feel that he is a weak manager because he listens everybody, and there are people, they are very autocratic. They are one-sided. They will just keep on telling their thing. Please do this, and then okay, go away. And there are people, they will say that if you have to do this, how you will be doing this? What are the resources? How can I help you? If somebody asks those things, and see the for from a manager point of view, he should always think, how can I help my boss, my immediate supervisor? How can I help you by my work? There are different ways of doing the things. Like, suppose he has said something to please do this thing, okay, and he has got lot of work, and in the evening he does not remind you, okay, and next day morning you are looking a reminder. When he will ask you, then only I'll tell you. No, you should tell automatically. You should send a mail, is WhatsApp, a SMS, that these are the job, this is where I stand as of now, this is the pending thing. Because whenever somebody has to big team management is there, so asking and repeatedly one gets fed up. How many times and the biggest difficult task is the coordination between the managers. One can do his own job, whatever job he is doing, he can always do his job. But really coordinating among the managers, because the other colleagues are also equal to the same person. So that is the really difficult task. And if you are very harsh to them, they will not listen, because both managers, boss is same. So you should be humble and get your work done. You cannot also complain to your boss that guy is not doing. That is your quality. How you can get the work done? Because like we have got product managers. There is a person whose general managers looks after, he says, pan India basis, and entire sales teams are divided into zones. We called as a DIC, depot in charges. But suppose that product manager, he has to sell say 500 metric ton in a month, his target. He has to get the work done from all the DICs. Those DICs, they are also general managers, but they are looking the all the products. They are looking milk, curd, paneer, ghee, everything they are looking, because they are depot in charge, and the product manager sitting centrally in the head office, he is the head for one particular product. Product manager has to get the target met from those DICs. And suppose he comes to me as a business head and he'll say, sir, that DIC is not listening me, other person is not listening me. How do I feel? Because there is a product head for paneer, there is a product head for ghee, there are milk. So all people, and there are 14 DICs. 14 into 5, 70 combinations are there. So I always look who is the product manager who really only comes to me for strategic input or financial approval once in a month. We have a monthly meeting, get all the approvals done, then you do your job. Only there is monthly meeting come, then you come and show your PPT where whatever plan and what we have done. Okay. Every time don't complain that that person is doing and not doing. So it is your quality, how you can get the work done from your similar managers of your rank. Positivity. See, positivity is important for not only leadership, your own personal life. You see, we were just listening a podcast where it says, when you open a TV news channel, it is always some negative news, because our brains are designed in that person. It is mostly they will absorb the negative news automatically. For positive, you have to be especially put some pressure on the brain to adopt that positive. That is how you will see the out of 100%, only 10% positive things, like 90% negative news coming. So always for doing the exercise, like physical exercise, you have to do the mental exercise. So listen, big leaders, some podcast, some positive things. So that positivity will also improve not only your thinking, your physical health also. Positive thinking will only come when you are physically fit. So according to a study conducted by Alternative Board, respondents reported positivity was the most important trait a leader can possess. An optimistic approach will make work more enjoyable for you, and it makes your manager more resilient to any negativity that infiltrates a business. Like downsizing, there is a pressure, there is a rejection, there is a stress, failure, bad publicity, which helps you to remain focused. So if you are positive and optimistic, because down the line, always, if you see the corona time, lot of jobs have gone. Okay, there are pressure to give the numbers, there is a pressure to perform pre-COVID time, and they say because the now organizer says we have got 4 plants, all the employees are there, everybody has to pay salary, so those expenditures are same, and if sales have come down half, from where the money will come? So you have to remain as a leader, as a head of department, you have to remain positive, and you see that negativity does not go down within the team. So you remain focused. That is how your team will work. So what are some unique successful people? What do they do? Set clearly defined goals or objectives. So one should be able to define, see, even When the country became independent, there were first 5 year plan. Okay, then 5 year plans get defined to 1 year and quarterly like that. So similarly in business acumen also, there are strategic business unit SBUs. There is clearly defined goals for 5 years. Then there are annual goals. Those annual goals are divided further into quarters, then monthly, and then weekly. Unless until there is a goal, an objective, you can't achieve anything. It not happens only for the business, even for individual also. All those who are currently like you have just joined for a PGDM course, you should have your goals 5 years down the line. Where what should I be doing and how should I be doing? Unless until you define a goal, somebody may say I will study specialization in the HR, so I will be doing HR. Somebody in finance, others in the marketing and sales, others in the branding. There are international marketing. So what happens? Some people they join the course, pass out, and after 2 years they decide what should I do. If you decide your goals and objective right now within the college, you will study in that, and from the library, from your teachers, professors, you will take more involvement in that field and you will work in that. So there are things which are by default and they are by design. So you should work by design. Where should I be after 5 years, after 10 years? It is not I got the job, say you studied in HR and so you HR vacancy was not there. Suddenly compulsory interview, you got job for marketing and you joined marketing. And after working for 2 3 years, you are not happy because your basic, your quality was for HR. So you are not happy. Then you are looking, searching job for HR. After 2 3 years, you got a vacancy and you joined some HR firm. Okay. So all the 2 3 years that you work, that is all waste. Because for HR, it will be new beginning, though 3 years marketing has nothing to do there. Okay. Second thing is stretch, but don't outstretch. See, we also talk to the people. We make targets and hosins. We have got hosin kanri meeting. This is Japanese term where for whole year monthly planning is there. Product wise, SKU wise, everything is defined. While defining the doers, the sales team, they'll say, I will be doing this. Let's say 20% growth, organic growth. You may take 25%. Okay, but then in certain things we even take percentage is no criteria because your base is very small. You are this is a new product, new area, your base is very small, so you can do wonders. And I tell you a live example. One of we have just done changes in March. Our Meerut zone was being looked after by one GM, and his performance was not coming very high. Milk sale was close to say 15,000 liters a day, and we shifted a person from Dehradun. He is slightly aged person, very submissive, and good with the distributor stocking. You know, the current sale today from 15,000, it has jumped to 25,000. What has happened? Same brand, same plant, only the leader has changed. Only leader has changed. So there are certain distributors, they are taking product from the competitor brands. He managed in their fold and he worked hard. Now the reward has come. Right from say April, it is just August, hardly 3 4 months. So jump is very high. At that time, if we are asking the current GM, he say, sir, 10% growth is good enough, or 15% is good enough. And at the same, last is the request feedback. So feedback is very important, this especially in PMS thing. What happens? Performance management system, they you have to fill your own, and then your boss, your supervisor, he will sit with you and then he will give the grading. how you are and in front of you. Okay. And there are good managers, good supervisors and good leaders. They will give you correct feedback. These 1 2 3 4 5 6, these are your deficiency. Okay, you improve this. Suppose out of 10 I have given you say 6 marks, you improve this. Next year we'll again sit down and then uh, will give you 8 or 7 after improvement. And at the same time, he will also list down what are the improvements you're doing. He will say 15 days training program, small start course, 3 months in one of the colleges. These things he will list down over there. He will also spare you to go over there and get the training. So feedback is, and correct feedback. There are people in front of you. They'll say, "Sir, you are very good." Okay, they'll not give you the correct feedback, and later on they'll say, "No, he does not know how to do his job." Okay, then I'll give you a small difference between a leader and a boss. What is the difference? Okay, so boss is always, he depends on authority, and a leader, he coaches the team, inspires the leader. What always, he always inspires the fear. He will say that, okay, if you not do this job, I'll expel your PMS. I'll see that you don't get increment. Okay, and the leader, he is always on goodwill. He generates enthusiasm. Okay, and boss always, he will talk, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. Whereas leader, he will always say, we should be doing like this, we should work as a team. So that is how he will talk. And a boss knows how it is done, and whereas leader, he shows how it is done. So he will show the way. Boss what will say, this particular incidence, particular job, how it is done, he knows that, he will tell only that. Whereas leader will tell you how it is done, by the way it can be done. And if similar things happen, similar you come across on similar situations, you can solve the problem your own. Okay. And anything, any work, suppose performance is good, boss always takes the credit. Now things have changed, because earlier what was happening, when there were no internet, all things were not there, it is the boss who was meeting the top boss, MDs and CEOs, only he was meeting. Whatever he is telling about his team down the line, the top boss will understand only that. But now things have changed. Now what happens, even down the line, second and third layer, if you'll write a mail to his boss, he will always mark a copy to the super boss, immediate next boss, because he will also know that I am doing this job. Okay. And don't mind also, a good leader, see, I have got a person who looks after the modern trade, and he also looks after the exports. Okay. uh, he has been working from me with me almost 10 to 15 years. He was with Mother Day also, I only brought him. But whenever he gets an export order, or in modern trade he gets a listing done in Reliance, Easy Day or any Metro, whenever he informs, he marks a copy to MD also. But I don't mind. I never say that why you have marked a copy, let me inform you. Because there is no parallel. There is no insecurity. It is the people, they say that if he is directly in touch with the MD, tomorrow he may take my position. So I'm sure this is only a good leader will always inculcate the habit of his juniors and develop his second line. Tomorrow you are on leave or something, you got some personal work. Okay. Like currently, I am talking to you people. We had a review meeting. Normally it takes place from 11:30 to 1. But today, due to certain exigency, it got shifted from say 10 to 11:30. But I have developed a second person team. So must go on. The person is already doing the job. Only once I am free, he will brief me. So it is all about together and find the most of the efficient way for a business to achieve its goal while maintaining the happiness of workers as a priority. So between leadership and management, there are what are the common things like instilling and inspiring vision and instilling good operational process and getting important things done. That is the leadership quality which he should have. He should be a manager and a leader both. So getting important things done in the life, as you grow, you'll see that most of the time you need not to do work from your own. It is the you have to get the work done from the people. Tips to keep in mind when giving feedback. So, while giving feedback to your subordinates, your juniors, remove emotions from equations. Back it up with facts. Consider how you respond to the tone. Be direct and precise and open to communication about the feedback. Avoid accusatory language. Identify a fix, not just a complaint. See, when I was working with Reliance Retail, we had headquarters in Mumbai, okay, and the all the online feedback that you have to give, and if you tell that why I give say out of 10, you are going to give him say 3 marks, so certain thing you have to support with the incidents. These are the things you have to give the attachment. There was a space available where you have to substantiate why you are giving this. Okay, and whenever you are giving any feedback, you should always remove your emotions and equations. You somebody is good with you, or you have got good rapport with you, does not mean that you may give very good feedback. Whereas some people, they don't do good morning, good evening every day, namaste every day, and but he's perfect in his job, 100% achievement, and he is perfect in his job. So you should be very unbiased and give him a good rating. Okay. Then quality management principles. There are a few things that you should be able to know. So from leadership point of view, engagement of people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision, relationship management, and customer focus. So customer focus for a leader, even there are external customers, there are internal customers. So whenever we have got Hossein, there are we the all the our plant team, they it is not the they will take feedback from end consumer. They will also do, like our purchase team, accounts team, they will do a video recording of the internal customers. Like for sales team is a internal customer for accounts person. He has submitted a TADA bill say 5th of every month, and it should be credited in his account on 15th, but it is going next month 5th or 10th. Okay. So while taking, there is a video recorded. Are people happy within the organization from your account? Has HR done the PMS properly? Has increment letters gone well in time? So all those internal customers, they will give feedback how the your HR and accounts are working. And for going global, you must learn other languages, if possible, fluent enough to get by. See, this is a very good trait of a leader. If you are really you want to take some international field, because currently when we are talking to the people, everybody is not fluent in English in other countries. So if you know any other language and you are fluent enough, that will be added advantage for you to taking any international role. Travel and understand other cultures, appreciate diversity. Uh, I think in the long back we had studied one lesson in Hindi. It was says Athato Ghumakkad Jigyasa. It means whenever you travel to other areas, you go trains, you go in the flight, other cities, so you know their cultures and their customary, how they live, how they behave. So traveling also gives a lot of improvement within the person. Be flexible if needed. Let go inhibitions. See, one has to be fluent enough to ask his things and tell about his things. Okay, so you should always see that all the inhibitions, if within the college you are in a periphery, within the premises, if you are not fluent enough, you are not able to remove your inhibitions. There are faculty, teachers, parents, where they can tell you, if you go outside, world is very crazy. Nobody is there to tell you how to do and why, how, what is to be done and what is not to be done. So you have to learn on your own. So you must have known about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, what he says, the Berkshire Hathaway CEO has always inspired many with his magical words. His positivity and advice on conducting business is always admired by his followers. So he has got two rules of the business. The business magnate also believes there are two rules. Rule number one, never lose money. And rule number two, never forget rule number one. So if you are a businessman, that is what we do every day. There should not be any losses in any territory and in any product. You cannot say that by losing this will compensate by this. So that is what Warren Buffett says. And in the end, be the be the change you want to see in the world. So unless until you are a change agent, what is really difficult, if you are a change agent, you can change others. So there are people, they are good practitioners for MBO. MBO is management by objective. This is where the number of consultants they are working, they are working as a change agent. There are big companies, they hire to the people and they say that in my organization, the values, the ethics, the practices, how this can be improved. And they are taking lakhs of rupees for the consultancy charges. Thank you very much. This is all from my side.